Here we are, downtown Newport, with Martin, and he is driving a pedicab. So we're going to take a quick look right here at the pedicab, downtown Newport. So what exactly do you do as a pedicab driver?
Well, as a pedicab driver, there's like two ways of making money. Basically, we can give tours or we can give rides around town.
Great. And which do you do most? What's more popular?
I would say we do more rides, but the tours are more lucrative.
Okay, great. What's the biggest tip you've ever gotten?
Ooh, big secret. But I did have a guy, he's like a Wall Street guy, win an office lottery in the back of my cab, and it was a significant amount of money. We don't talk about how much money we make to people outside of pedicabbing.
Okay,
but
I get that.
It was significant. Yeah.
Great.
He won like 87 grand in an office pool lottery, and he was very generous.
Excellent. That must have been a good night then, huh?
It was a good night, yeah.
Pleasant surprise.
Yep.
Okay, so how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this most summers since 2014.
Wow, and how did you get into it?
So I was working on oil rigs, and there was a crash in the price of oil, and I was just back in Rhode Island hanging out at the beach, and my buddy that I went to URI with had become a school teacher, and he was doing this during the summer to make extra cash, and he was like, yo, I think you'd be good for this. You should check it out. I think it's right up your alley. And I was like, all right, man, I'll give it a shot. I came out. I did really well my first night. The guy who was running the shop at the time, I don't want to mention his name, I guess. I don't know if he'd want me to. But he liked me. And so I kind of worked my way into the rotation that summer. And I haven't had a problem getting a bike ever since.
Great. Do you own the bike?
I don't. I rent the bike.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a particular company you work for.
Yeah.
Great. So you don't get paid except for tips. So you work on tips?
So the way it works is anything under 15 minutes, typically we're at your mercy. We'll leave it up to you to decide, what would you want for that ride if you had done it. Most people have a pretty good barometer of what's fair for whatever ride they get. So it's not too often that we get stiffed or less than we expected. Even when we do, the ultimate cap on that is zero, right? It's not like they're robbing you.
That's right.
Whereas there's no cap on how much we can get, and we've gotten some pretty generous tips previously. I won't say numbers. I don't want numbers floating around out there on the internet.
Right.
Well, yeah.
What are your hours usually? Like how many hours?
I only work the weekends. I actually live out of state, and I come home every weekend just to do this. On a Friday night, I might come out at 11 and I'll work from like 11 to 2. Then I'll get up on Saturday and I'll be out here by 11 in the morning, 11:30 in the morning, and I'll be out here until 2 in the morning. And then I may or may not work Sunday, and if I work Sunday, it's typically like 12 to 5. Now, those are kind of the hours for like the high season, like June through August.
Yeah.
And the first part of September. Once we get into fall, like right now, I'm wearing a jacket. This is cruise ship season, and like we make the majority of our money during the day. We're up at 7, 8 o'clock down at Karate Park. The tenders from the cruise ships are coming in, and we're just solely trying to get tours in the morning. And then after those are all done, we'll come back here while the weather's still warm, and we'll work until the dinner shift is over, and then we'll probably go in. Some people may come out later at night for the drunks, but it's not the same atmosphere as it was during the summer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Great. Tell me one last question. What is the most interesting person you've had or trip you've done?
We've had a few. So I would say that the trip where the guy won the lottery was one. I had another one this summer where I picked a guy up. He wanted to go to Gurney's. I brought him there. He gave me far more than I thought he would. And so I figured he was probably going to be around for the weekend. I gave him my number. And I wasn't expecting to hear from him again until the next day. He called me at 1 in the morning and wanted to go get pizza.
Oh.
So I went and picked him up. And then I won't go into all the details, but it started to look hairy. It started to look like he wasn't going to come out. And then he surprised me, and he did. He came out. I brought him to go get pizza. And then I brought him and his wife back to Gurney's, and he gave me another insane amount of money. For the amount of work that I did.
That was a good trip.
That was a good one. And then there's another guy. There's like a known pedicab baller. He's not here every year. He's like Pedicab Santa Claus. We never know when he's going to show up, but when he does, he makes it rain. So he's another pedicab favorite. Yeah.
Great.
And then I've had people throw up in this, like it's turned into the vomit comet. I've had, I don't know. Most rides aren't too noteworthy. You know, you're running into interesting people, but you know, a lot of rides are similar. The people we remember the most are like the people who pay well and the people who are just insane. We've had some crazy people too.
It's kind of like that in life, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Yeah.
And good luck with everything. I've seen you down here. Just was watching you a little bit, and it looks like everybody's pretty interested in what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
So hopefully you'll get lots of good business today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks again for talking to me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and one last thing. I don't think I mentioned it. So I think I mentioned anything under 15 minutes, we're at your mercy. Anything over that, we do start to charge rates. So there's like a 15, 20-minute rate, there's a half-hour rate, and there's an hour rate. And then after that, it just kind of gets prorated, or if we end up in between, it gets prorated from the lower rate. And then also at night, if we're in Bannister's Wharf, we're not sitting here because we have nothing to do.
Yeah.
We're sitting here because we're waiting for millionaires to finish eating and want us to take them somewhere. So we're not interested in $5 rides to nowhere at night when we're sitting in Bannister's Wharf. That's one more thing I need to hammer home.
I got it. So let me ask you, all right, now that brings up another question. So what if somebody wanted to request you? How would they get a hold of you?
We all have our own business cards. We'll share them with you. We do get regulars. Like I have a nice couple that I take care of every Saturday. They go to a couple different restaurants that they like to go to. Sometimes they have friends in town and they want 2 cabs, and I hook up one of my friends with the second ride. So we do have regulars. We will give our card out to people who ask for it. We'll give our card out to people who don't ask for it.
I know that feeling.
We're all about picking up people from hotels. If you're in town and you see us and you don't want a ride yet, but you want one later, just ask us for our card. We'll give it to you.
That's great.
Yep.
That's great. So I'll get your card, and we'll put the information below, and
sure.
People can contact you if they want.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Great. Thank you, Martin.
Thanks.
All right. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you.